Ridley Scott will be the first person to tell you that Blade Runner changed science fiction filmmaking.
I think we got it really right in Blade Runner, which is, in a way, is a problem because Blade Runner has been a very strong influence on lots of other films.
What makes the film so special is its expansive world building and its nuanced character portraits within that world.
I need the old Blade Runner. I need your magic.
There is one scene that perhaps best encapsulates Scott's ability to simultaneously introduce large and alien ideas and settings while not losing the minutiae of personal relationships. And by understanding how Scott pulls it off, we can see what makes Blade Runner continue to stand out among a sea of imitators. This is Director's Playbook, Blade Runner.
On Blade Runner as inventing a new world.
A new life awaits you in the off-world colony.
While the setting of Blade Runner is endlessly fascinating, the core of its story is very human.
It's an internal story where a hunter falls in love with his quarry.
Do you love me?
I love you.
The story is kicked off in the unforgettable scene of Deckard's first meeting with Rachel. On a character level, the sequence serves two purposes: to plant the seed of Deckard and Rachel's romance, and to introduce Tyrell as powerful and hubristic.
Rick is being introduced to Rachel by a man called Tyrell. In a sense, it becomes a kind of competition between the skill of Rick Deckard as a Blade Runner and deducing whether or not Rachel, in fact, is human or otherwise.
So how does Scott handle the expansive and the internal at the same time? He approached this pivotal scene with a storyboard. It begins on an owl, a surreal element whose flight introduces us to the setting. A massive room with pillars and an expansive backdrop that is nearly identical to the one drawn in the boards. Thematically, the owl also emphasizes how convincing Tyrell's replicants can be.
Do you like our owl?
Even Deckard, who makes a living differentiating between replicants and the real thing, is surprised at how lifelike it is. The following coverage situates the audience with Deckard. The camera is closer to him, and the reverse shots to Rachel and the owl follow his eyeline. We are witnessing this space through his eyes.
It's artificial?
Of course it is.
Must be expensive.
Very. I'm Rachel.
Deckard.
The two close-ups on Deckard and Rachel as they introduce themselves hint at the emotional link they will eventually have.
It seems you feel our work is not a benefit to the public.
But Deckard's dismissive attitude towards replicants distances the characters.
Replicants are like any other machine. They're either a benefit or a hazard. If they're a benefit, it's not my problem.
And they're then covered in medium wides. Deckard's personality informs his coverage throughout the scene. Scott describes him as a classic noir misanthrope.
A tough man, an even violent man, a man without relationships, and a man who's very much on his own.
May I ask you a personal question?
When Deckard sits,
Sure.
Rachel remains standing, giving her loaded question more weight.
Have you ever retired a human by mistake?
Even if Deckard doesn't give it much credence.
No.
But in your position, that is a risk.
Is this to be an empathy test?
When Tyrell enters, he is covered more from a distance, giving him a feeling of unknowability and mystery.
Capillary dilation of the so-called blush response? Fluctuation of the pupil? Involuntary dilation of the iris?
We call it Voight-Kampff for short.
Mr. Deckard, Dr. Eldon Tyrell.
Just as Deckard and Rachel are getting to know each other,
I want to see it work.
Tyrell literally makes himself an obstacle between them. He is now in control of the scene.
Where's the subject?
I want to see it work on a person. I want to see a negative before I provide you with a positive.
What's that going to prove?
Indulge me.
On you?
Try her.
Before commencing the test on Rachel, Tyrell darkens the room.
It's too bright in here.
This is covered in a wide and reminds us of the vast scale of the space and the hidden technologies within it. The action line in the script is telling. The windows darken, a Polaroid effect that seems to give Tyrell the power to turn off the sun. Tyrell controls even the sunlight. The shift also gives the following sequence a more brooding and intense tone that is reminiscent of a noir. Indeed, Rachel is lit like a classic femme fatale, signalling her shift in Deckard's eyes from an innocent woman to a more complicated and mysterious figure.
It's your birthday. Someone gives you a calfskin wallet.
I wouldn't accept it. Also, I'd report the person who gave it to me to the police.
As their conversation continues, the coverage gets tighter and tighter, once more creating a more intimate connection between the two.
I take him to the doctor.
But the detecting machine almost always stays in front of Deckard, creating a shield that isn't as present in Rachel's coverage. Once the interrogation is over, Deckard reasserts his cynical wall.
She's a replicant, isn't she?
I'm impressed.
And at the end of it, he says, how can it not know? It calls her it. So obviously she's a race apart.
She's beginning to suspect, I think.
Suspect? How can it not know what it is?
All of these subtle dynamics are present in Scott's storyboards and shot selection, but they are further augmented by decisions made on set. Much of the scene is bathed in sunlight, a departure from the nighttime neon cityscapes that dominate the film. This puts Rachel in a more pleasing light. She's a source of luminance to Deckard. This is in stark contrast with the first replicant interrogation in the first scene. It also illustrates Tyrell's power. He lives above the decrepit city below. The scene also makes use of a disorienting, shimmering light.
So it's a tray of water with mirror pieces in the bottom, and the light's doing that, lapping on all of the walls.
To much of the crew at the time, the decision was perplexing. Special photographic effects supervisor Douglas Trumbull recalls,
Ridley's saying, well, I want this light to be like up against the wall. And we're saying, well, what's motivating that? Is it raining? Is the floor wet? And he says, no, it's just got to happen. And so I felt, well, if that's what Ridley wants, that's what he should have.
Like the owl, the shimmering light adds to the surreality of the scene, while also insinuating that there are other elements of this world just off screen that we may not yet understand. Another crucial piece of lighting in the scene is the reflective light in Rachel's eyes. This was a result of Scott deciding how to differentiate the replicants without stripping them too much of their humanity.
I said, how the hell do I differentiate between a replicant? I need to have light in their eyes in the way that the leopard's eyes in 2001. I wanted there occasionally so it's not insistent, it becomes too robotic. Every now and again I want a glint.
This too was left up to Douglas Trumbull.
We came up with a simple half mirror. You have a sheet of glass which is half mirror, and the mirror is mounted on the camera in front of the lens at 45-degree angle. On one side, just behind the camera, in those days we call a pop, a very small light, which is on a dimmer. You just turn it up with the subject sitting here, looking straight into the camera. You turn up this light, which is reflecting from the mirror into the lens, but is not being photographed in the camera.
Like many other touches in this scene, this light in Rachel's eyes feels alien without being distracting. Blade Runner is a masterclass in science fiction storytelling. It manages to create a massive and complex world an audience can get lost in, while also telling an emotionally powerful and deeply human story.
Of course it is.
Ready to start your own sci-fi adventure? Envision your own movie like Ridley Scott with Studio Binder's storyboarding software. Until next time, stay human.
All those moments will be lost in time, like tears.